Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be showing you all the best features of the OnePlus 11. By the way, I have also posted a dedicated video for the tips and tricks section where I've talked about many things which I won't be covering in this video. So definitely check out that video as well, link will be in the description. With that said, the most highlighting feature about this phone would obviously be its performance. This phone sports the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor with Adreno 740 GPU. With up to 16GB of LPDDR5X RAM and up to 256GB of UFS 4.0 storage. By the way, if you get the 128GB variant, you get the UFS 3.1 storage. So get the 16GB variant. These are the benchmark scores. Purely in terms of performance, OnePlus 11 is definitely the best in this price segment. The next best thing about this phone are definitely its cameras. On the rear, this phone comes with a triple camera setup with a 50MP primary camera with Sony IMX890 sensor with optical image stabilization, and the cameras are also optimized by Hasselblad. For selfies, we get a 16MP camera with f2.45 aperture. These are some sample shots. Next, this phone also comes with a wide-angle camera. It's a 48MP ultra-wide-angle lens with 115° field of view, and it comes with a Sony IMX581 sensor. These are some sample shots. Next, this phone also comes with a dedicated telephoto lens, which is used for taking portrait shots. It's a 32MP camera with Sony IMX709 sensor, which offers 2x optical zoom. These are some sample shots. Next best thing about this phone is definitely its charging speed. This one comes with a 5000 mAh battery and also comes with a 100W SuperVOOC charger inside the box. You can completely charge your phone from 0 to 100% in just 25 minutes. By the way, OnePlus 11 uses dual cell technology where it uses actually two different batteries instead of a single bigger 5000 mAh battery. And according to OnePlus, the batteries will have 4 years of peak capacity even when you're using the faster charging speeds, which is definitely pretty good. And if you are really worried about the battery life, we also have something called AI charge acceleration, which can reduce the charging speeds, but it'll keep your battery healthy for a longer time. Next best thing about this phone is its display. This one comes with a 6.7-inch Fluid AMOLED display with 2K resolution, with 120Hz screen refresh rate, with 3rd gen LTPO calibration, Dolby Vision, and it also has a peak brightness of 1300 nits. By the way, OnePlus 11 is using the E4 AMOLED panel, while the latest phones in the market like iQOO 11 are using the E6 AMOLED panel. Overall, display on the OnePlus 11 is pretty good, but it's just not the latest and the best in the price segment. Next, this one also has an in-display fingerprint scanner. Well, that's to be expected, and here's a quick look at its performance. It's pretty fast and almost unlocks the phone within a second. Next, we also got the face unlock feature, and that works really well as well. In good lighting conditions and even in low lighting conditions, face unlock works really well. It's pretty fast and unlocks the phone almost instantly. In complete darkness, face unlock still works, but takes about a second or two to unlock the phone. Overall, it's pretty fast and it's definitely pretty reliable and usable. Next, this one also comes with dual stereo speakers. OnePlus calls it the dual reality speakers. We also have Dolby Atmos with 50% higher bass production. And this is how they sound. Next, we have a dedicated QHD Plus resolution mode. Now, even though this phone comes with a 2K resolution display, by default, resolution is set to auto-select. So depending upon what you're doing, screen resolution changes. If you're low on battery, display resolution automatically changes to Full HD+. If you're gaming or watching videos, display resolution can actually go up to QHD+. So for some reason, if you want to have a very consistent experience, you can also change the display resolution from these settings. You can go with Full HD+ for longer battery life or QHD+ for the sharper image. Next, we have the high resolution mode on the default camera application. Now, even though this phone comes with a 50MP primary camera, every time you take a picture, your phone will automatically compress the image. So for some reason, if you want to take a 50MP picture, you need to use this high resolution mode. These are some sample shots. Next we have dual view video. Now this is a camera feature which allows you to use both the front and rear cameras at the same time. While recording, there are different layouts and I'll show you the sample shot later. We can split the screen between the front and rear cameras, or just use a camera as a pop-up or a layover over the different cameras footage. Here's the sample footage. Now this is the sample footage for the dual view mode, where we can record video with both the front and rear cameras at the same time, and we can also switch between the rear cameras while recording the video, which is a pretty good feature. This is another format or another layout that we can use while we are using the dual video feature. Just in case if you are wondering, we can also switch the positions of both the front and rear cameras. And there is the third layout, which just so happens to be this. So this is the dual view feature. I know that's easy. Next we have expand mode for the camera. This is like a filter and gives you a completely different look. Next we have long exposure. Now just like the name suggests, using this feature you can take pictures of light trails or of moving vehicles at night, which gives you a pretty cool effect. Next we also have object eraser. Now just like the name suggests, this feature can erase things on a photo. Now here's a quick preview. It does come in handy for smaller things, but isn't that useful when it comes to bigger objects. Next we can also record video in 8K resolution on this phone. Here's the sample footage. Next we have pocket mistouch prevention. Now once you enable this feature, your phone will prevent accidental touches whenever your phone is in your pocket. Basically, whenever your display lights up, your phone will use the proximity sensor to see if the phone is out or if it's in your pocket. If it's in your pocket, it'll ignore all the touches. It's a pretty cool feature, you should definitely enable it. Next we have a brand new gesture which allows us to quickly switch between applications. You can enable it from the system navigation settings. Just enable the toggle, switch to previous app, and now you can just swipe and hold from the left or right edge of the screen to quickly switch between the current application and previous application. Actually, very few phones offer this particular feature and I personally really like it. So guys, definitely try this feature. Next we have assistive ball. Now once you enable this feature, you get an assistive ball on the screen, which is just a floating button kind of a thing, and you get to have two options. You have gesture options and you have tap menu. In tap menu, you can just tap on the ball to access different functions. In gesture options, you can double tap the ball or do a long tap on the ball to perform different actions. We can configure all that from settings. Next we have a brand new feature called Smart Sidebar. You can access it from the special features section, and once you enable this feature, you can access a bar by swiping from the upper edge of the screen. Now from here you can perform various actions as shown in the preview. Next we have notification history. Now once you enable this feature, it will record all the notifications that you get over the time. So let's say you've accidentally dismissed a notification and want to check what it was, you can do that from the notification history. It's a pretty cool feature and you should definitely check it out. Now coming back to the display settings, we have a lot of new features that can enhance the overall experience of the display. We have features like image sharpener, video color enhancer, and we can also change the natural tone of the display. Some of the features make the display look much better, but it also drains a bit of more battery. So do check them out and only use them if you think it's necessary. Next we have the famous OnePlus shelf. You can access it directly from the home screen. It's on the complete left side of the screen. You can just do it and the shelf pops up. And over here we have different tiles which are like widgets. There is clock, weather, step counter, notes, and so on. You can configure the shelf according to your preference and you can have all the information at just a click of a button. Overall, it's a pretty nice feature. You can definitely give it a try. Next, we have some pretty cool gestures. First, we have raise to wake. Now, once you enable this feature, you can just raise your phone from a flat surface and the screen lights up. If you are using face unlock feature, your screen lights up and takes you to the lock screen. If you are using face unlock feature, your phone can automatically unlock the phone as well, which can be pretty handy. Here's a preview once again. Next, we have air gestures. Now, using these air gestures, you can answer the calls or mute the calls. To answer calls, whenever you get a call, hold the back of your hand with fingers pointed down, hold it for 1 to 2 seconds and flick your hand up, and that answers the call. To mute an incoming call, just face the palm to the front camera and hold it there for 1.5 seconds and it will mute the call. These air gestures work, but there's a bit of learning curve to it. Next, we have Bitmoji. Now, this feature allows you to create an avatar. In always on display settings, there's the Bitmoji, and first you need to download it and install the application, and then you can create your own avatar. You can enter your date of birth, email, password, select the face, skin color, outfit, and customize your avatar. And now you can use it. It'll appear on the always on display along with the time and information. Next, we also have emoji. Now once again, you can access it from the always on display settings. You can create your own emoji and also use it for video calls. You can customize the face and it will react to your face as well. It's just like Apple's Animoji. Next, we also have live wallpapers on the OnePlus 11. You can set live wallpapers as home screen or lock screen wallpapers. You can even record a video or use multiple photos and set them as a live wallpaper for your lock screen or home screen. This is a brand new feature and works really well. Next, we have smart rapid charging. Now once you enable this feature, every time you use the 100 watts power adapter with this phone, it will charge your phone with the maximum charging speed. It will make your phone slightly more warmer, but it can quickly charge your phone. If you disable this feature, your phone will automatically change the charging speeds to reduce the battery temperature, and it might take a bit more longer to charge your phone. Next, we have floating windows. Now this feature allows you to open applications in floating windows. To use this feature, you can go to the recent apps page, click on any one of the app icons, and then you have the option to open in a small pop-up window. Just click on it and the application will be opened in a floating window. You can double tap it to enlarge it. You can swipe the window towards the edge and it will hide inside the edge. You can just swipe from the edge to bring it out whenever you need it. If you have navigation gestures enabled, you can also open an application in a floating window by just doing a swipe up gesture and keep going till the top. And now the application will open up in a floating window. Next, we have smart sidebar background play option. Now this is a pretty cool feature. While watching a video on YouTube or any other media player, you can bring up the sidebar. There's an option for background play. Once you select it, that video will be playing even in the background whenever you go to a different application or the home screen. You can access the media control settings for that video from the notification area. Next, we have a brand new feature called the icon pull down gesture. Once you enable this feature, whenever you are on the home screen, you can swipe diagonally from the bottom edge of the screen to access all the home screen icons right at your fingertips. It's a pretty cool feature and it's also an iconic ColorOS feature. Realme had it a very long time ago. Next, we have one-handed mode. Now once you have enabled this feature, you can just do a swipe down gesture on the bottom of the screen to pull down the screen to the bottom. Now the screen will minimize to a smaller window and you can access the complete screen at the lower half of the screen. If you want to exit, you can swipe up on the minimized window or just tap on an empty area at the top. This particular feature works only with the navigation gestures. Next, we have spatial audio. OnePlus uses the spatial audio rendering technology and the head tracking technology to immerse you in a completely different environment with the sound that surrounds you when you listen to anything. With that said, this particular feature only works with earphones and that too compatible ones. So if you have them, you can definitely experience a whole different spatial audio. Next, we have gaming assistant. Now once you enable this feature, you can access the gaming assistant while you're playing games, and from here you can check your system status like the FPS of the game, CPU and GPU usages, and you can also perform some quick actions as well. Next, we have OHaptics. Now everything related to the haptics of the phone is bundled into a single package and OnePlus calls it the OHaptics. Now from here you can change the intensity of the haptics. You can also change how the touch feels, like how the haptics actually work. Do you want it crisp or do you want the haptics to be gentle? You can do all that from here. By the way, there is also a pretty cool demonstration which I would recommend you to definitely check it out if you have access to a physical phone. Next, we have App Cloner. Using this feature, we can create duplicate versions of a supported application. Basically, using this feature, you can use 2 Facebook accounts, 2 Instagram accounts, or 2 WhatsApp accounts on the same phone. It's a very good feature, but it's only supported for few applications. Next, we have Power Menu. Now by default, whenever you press the power button, it'll trigger Google Assistant. But for some reason, if you want to use the power button to trigger Google Assistant and still want to access the power menu, this is what you need to do. Just press and hold the power button and the volume up button both at the same time and you get the power options. It's really not a feature, it's actually just a small tip. Next, we can also end calls using the power button. For it to work, you just need to enable this option, and whenever you are on a call, you can press the power button to end the call. This particular feature is particularly helpful for elderly people. Next, we can completely remove animations on this phone. I don't know why, but for some reason, if you want to remove all the animations on your phone, you can do it with just a click of a button. Next, we have a pretty interesting feature called Auto Switch to Receiver. Now, once you enable this feature, whenever you're on a call, you can lift your phone to your ear to automatically switch to the receiver mode. This works when you are using the loudspeaker mode and want to instantly switch to earpiece. Next, we can also schedule to power on and power off your phone. Now, using this feature, you can just select the time and your phone will auto power on and power off. I would recommend you to daily restart your phone for the best user experience. So you can schedule your phone to power off, let's say at 2 in the morning, and power on at 2:01 or 2:10 am in the morning. So your phone will restart automatically and you'll have the best user experience. Going on next, if you want to use an OTG pen drive with your OnePlus phone, make sure you enable this particular toggle. By default, whenever you connect an OTG pen drive to your OnePlus phone, it will not detect it as a storage device. So once you enable this toggle, we will be able to use OTG pen drives. By the way, this feature will automatically disable after 10 minutes. Next, we have some new UI changes which are part of the latest Android. So using these settings, we can change the color of the overall UI scheme. So we can switch between different colors. We can also change the icon shapes to circles, squares or windows. Do give it a try. Next, if you want to display the RAM usage on the recent apps page, you can do that by just enabling this toggle. Now once you do that, you can check out the RAM usage information in the recent apps page. Next, we have Super Stable mode. Even though this phone offers stabilization by default when you record video, but for some reason if you want further stabilization, you can try out this Super Stable mode. Here's a quick preview. Going on next, we can also record video in 4K resolution at 30 fps and 60 fps using the rear camera. Next, we have Nightscape. Now this is a dedicated night mode in the default camera application that allows you to take better pictures even in low lighting conditions. These are some sample pictures. Next, we have night mode filters. Now these are the few filters that are available. You can check them out and they look pretty good. Next, this phone also supports slow motion video recording. We can record video at 1080p resolution at 240 fps and at 720p resolution at 480 fps. At least as of now, there is no support for 960 fps. Next, we also have some new navigation gestures. But before that, we have the regular navigation bar with the back, home and recent buttons. From settings, you can set the long press action for the back button to open split screen mode, which can be pretty handy if you use the split screen mode a lot. Now back to the new gestures. Once you enable them, you can swipe from the bottom of the screen to go home, swipe and hold for recent tabs, and you can swipe from the left side or right side to go back a step, and you can quickly switch between the current application and the previous applications by swiping left or right on the bottom of the screen. We can also trigger Google Assistant by swiping diagonally from the bottom left or bottom right corner. Going on next, we can also change the display refresh rate on this phone. This phone has a display with 120Hz refresh rate. From this setting, you can go back to the regular 60Hz refresh rate. Personally, I'd suggest you to keep it at the maximum refresh rate. Next, we have portrait mode for video recording. And just like the name suggests, we can record video with a background blur effect. Here's a quick sample. Now this is a sample footage recorded using the front-facing camera with the background blur effect, and at least right now in the preview I can see that the background is being blurred. Obviously edge detection won't be perfect, but still it's pretty good for something that comes out right out of the box. Next, we have a brand new feature called Canvas, which gives a transition effect for the lock screen wallpaper. Here's a quick preview. The original image is set as a home screen wallpaper, and we get an outline on the lock screen. And you get a cool transition effect every time you unlock the phone. Overall, it's not too functional, but looks pretty cool. Next, we have a new feature called Work-Life Balance. It's an automation feature that will allow you to restrict notifications from applications based on time and location. You have two modes, work mode and life mode, and you can choose applications part of work mode and life mode And when you're in a particular mode, you'll only get notifications from those applications. Let's say you're in the work mode, then you'll get notifications only from those work applications. Next, we have a new clock style called Insight, which gives you real-time information of your usage pattern, like number of times you have unlocked your phone or how long you have used your phone in every session. It's a cool feature to track your usage. Next, we have some screen off gestures. First one would be double tap to wake. Now once you enable this feature, as the name suggests, you can just double tap the screen to wake it up. If you're already using face unlock feature on this phone, you can just double tap the screen to wake it up, then your front camera will see your face, and then it will immediately unlock the phone. Overall, it gives you a very immersive experience. Next, we have music controls. Now once you enable this feature, you can draw less than or greater than symbols when the screen is off to play the previous or next songs, and then draw two parallel lines to play or pause music. Next, we have Zen mode. You can access it from the notification toggles, and once you enable this feature, it will literally not allow you to do anything for the next 20 minutes. Even if you restart your phone in those 20 minutes, it still takes you to the Zen mode. If you want to meditate for some time or put your phone down for some time, just give this a try. Next, we have a screen recorder built into the phone. Whether you want to just record your screen for a random purpose or for a tutorial, or if you want to record your game, then you can do all that from your phone with a built-in feature. You can access it from the toggles. You can also change the resolution, bitrate, you can even change the audio source and set video orientation. Next, we have the famous alert slider. Just like on all the previous OnePlus phones, even on this phone, we still get the alert slider. We have 3 modes, silent, vibration and ring. You can further configure each mode from settings. Using this alert slider, you can change to different modes without even looking at your phone. This is a very unique feature that's available only on the OnePlus phones. Next, we have digital well-being. Now this is a feature from Google which simply tracks all your usage on your phone and gives you a complete analysis of which applications you are using a lot or which applications receive the most notifications. Now using this feature, you can also limit your usage, which is pretty great. Next, we have wind down. Now this is also from Google and it's part of digital well-being, and it allows you to sleep faster at night. You can basically schedule it to automatically turn on the grayscale mode and do not disturb mode at a specific time and basically hint you to go to bed. Next, we have flip to mute. Now once you enable this feature, you can just flip your phone to mute an incoming call. Next, we have answer call by gesture. Now once you enable this feature, you can answer a call just by placing the phone near your ear. Next, we have 3-finger screenshot. Now before I show you how to use that, let me show you how to take a screenshot on this phone. Just press the volume down and power button both at the same time and your phone will take a screenshot. For some reason, if that's a bit difficult for you, you also have this 3-finger screenshot gesture. Once you enable it, you can just swipe down using 3 fingers to take a screenshot. This is definitely my favorite way to take a screenshot. Next, we have long screenshot. Let's say you want to take a long screenshot of this web page. Then this is what you need to do. First, take a regular screenshot. You can either use the buttons or the 3-finger screenshot gesture. Once you do that, you'll see a preview, and now click on the button that says expanded screenshot. Once you do that, your phone will automatically scroll through the page, and at the end, it will give you a long screenshot. Next, we have some quick launch shortcuts for the fingerprint scanner. Once you enable this feature, in the lock screen, you can touch and hold the fingerprint scanner. Even after the phone unlocks, just keep holding it and you will see some quick shortcuts. Now you can swipe your finger left or right to switch between these applications and release the finger to open that particular application. You can also swipe down to close the application. Now from these settings, you can save your quick shortcuts. Next, we have fingerprint animations. Now right out of the box, this is the default animation that we get whenever we use the fingerprint. Besides that, we have a total of 3 animations: Cosmos, Wave and Stripes, and you can use the one based on your preference. By the way guys, fingerprint scanner on this phone is super fast, so most of the time you won't even see the animation completely. Next, we have gaming mode. Now this feature gives you tons of options, like it gives you the option to answer calls via speaker, block all banner notifications and all the notifications in general, disable auto brightness. It can even boost the network for a lag-free experience. It also has some advanced features like game display enhancement and haptic feedback enhancement. Next, we have reading mode. Now reading mode on this phone is pretty unique. Once you enable this feature, your phone will automatically adjust the screen color temperature and make the display much more comfortable to read. You can either turn it on manually or schedule it to automatically turn on for few specific applications, say like Amazon Kindle or Google's Playbooks. It can also block peak notifications or heads-up notifications, which can be quite annoying, especially while reading. Now going on next, OnePlus also offers us 3 different themes. First we have colorful, which changes the notification area depending upon the wallpaper, and the settings page looks a bit more colorful. Next we have light, where everything has a light background. And the final one is black, which is my favorite one, which changes the background to completely black or dark. Dark mode in specific looks cooler, helps you save some battery, and strains your eyes less at night. For all the 3 themes, you can also change the accent colors. You can either select a color or even give a color code. Next we have some launcher-based gestures. If you are using the stock launcher from OnePlus, you have some cool gestures and you can tweak them from the launcher settings. On your home screen, you can do a swipe down gesture to pull down the notification bar. You can double tap in an empty area to put the phone to sleep. And finally, you can do a swipe up gesture to open the app drawer. Next we have App Locker built into the phone. If you have any applications that hold sensitive information like net banking applications or payment-based apps like Paytm, Google Pay or PhonePe, you can lock all those applications using this feature. It's a nice feature but has very limited options. If you're an advanced user, I'll suggest you to use a third-party application. Next we have Schedule On and Off. Now this feature allows you to automatically turn on your phone and even turn it off at a specific time on a specific day. You can configure all that from these settings. So guys, these are all the best features. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video. If you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.